What if the Roman Empire never fell? No Dark Ages, no medieval chaos, no countries like France, Germany, or Spain. Just one empire. Still standing today. It sounds impossible. But if Rome had made just a few different decisions, history could have taken a completely different path. To understand this scenario, we need to look at what actually happened. In 476 AD, the Western Roman Empire officially collapsed, but this wasn't a sudden event. For decades, Rome had been weakening. Political corruption was everywhere. Emperors came and went rapidly. Many were assassinated. The economy was collapsing under heavy taxes and inflation, and the army, once the strongest in the world, was increasingly filled with mercenaries who had no loyalty to Rome. Then came the invasions. Germanic tribes like the Visigoths and Vandals began pushing into Roman territory. Eventually, Rome couldn't hold. The empire fractured, and Europe entered what we now call the Dark Ages. But what if that never happened? Let's imagine a different timeline. Instead of collapsing, Rome reforms itself. A strong emperor rises, someone capable, disciplined, and strategic. He restructures the government, reduces corruption, and restores stability to the economy. The army is rebuilt, not with mercenaries, but with loyal, well-trained Roman soldiers. Borders are reinforced. Invasions are repelled. Instead of breaking apart, Rome stabilizes. And once it stabilizes, it begins to evolve. Without the fall of Rome, Europe never fractures into dozens of small kingdoms. There's no feudal system, no constant wars between rival states, no centuries of instability. Instead, Europe remains united under one power, a single legal system, a single administration, a single identity. Latin becomes the dominant language across the continent. Over time, it evolves but remains unified. The idea of separate nations like we know today may never exist. Instead of France or Germany, there is only Rome. One of the biggest consequences: technology. Rome was already incredibly advanced. They built roads that still exist today, aqueducts that carried water across miles, massive cities with complex infrastructure. But when Rome fell, much of that knowledge was lost. Progress slowed dramatically. Now imagine a world where that never happens. No reset, no lost knowledge. Innovation continues, uninterrupted. The Renaissance might happen centuries earlier. Scientific discoveries accelerate, engineering evolves faster. It's possible that technologies like steam power, or even early industrialization, could appear hundreds of years ahead of schedule. Religion would also look very different. Christianity was spreading during the late Roman Empire, but after Rome fell, the church gained massive independent power. In this alternate timeline, that might not happen. The Roman state could maintain control over religion. The church becomes part of the empire, not above it. No fragmentation, no Protestant Reformation as we know it. Religion becomes more centralized, more controlled, and possibly less influential in shaping politics. Now imagine what a stable Roman Empire could do next. Expansion. Rome had already conquered vast territories, from Britain to North Africa to the Middle East. But a stronger, more stable Rome wouldn't stop there. It could push further into Africa, deeper into Asia, and possibly, much earlier, begin exploring the Atlantic. What if Rome discovered the Americas, centuries before Columbus? Instead of multiple competing empires like Spain, Portugal, and England, you might have one dominant global superpower. But this world wouldn't necessarily be better. A single dominant empire comes with risks, less competition, less diversity of ideas. Throughout history, innovation often comes from rivalry, from different cultures pushing against each other. Without that, progress might actually slow in some areas. And freedom? Rome was not a democracy in the modern sense. Dissent would likely be suppressed, rebellions crushed. A world ruled by Rome might be more stable, but also more controlled. So what if Rome never fell? We might live in a more advanced world, with unified systems, faster technology, and global stability. Or we might live in a world dominated by a single power, with less freedom and less diversity. Either way, one thing is certain: the world we know today would not exist.